If you learn these 9 early signs today, you can protect your brain, your independence, and maybe even save your life. This is possible because science has shown that stroke almost never comes out of nowhere. It sends hidden warnings, sometimes days or even weeks before the actual attack. And if you can catch those warnings, you can stop the disaster. Every 40 seconds, someone in the world suffers a stroke, and every 4 minutes, someone dies because of it, according to the World Health Organization. Stroke is the second leading cause of death globally, and it is also the leading cause of disability, leaving millions unable to walk, speak, or live independently. Doctors often say stroke is not silent, it whispers first. But the problem is, most people are not trained to hear those whispers. That is why in this video, I will reveal the 9 early warning signs you must never ignore and explain the science behind why they happen. The first sign is sudden numbness or weakness in the face, arm, or leg, usually on one side of the body. If you smile and one side of your face droops, or if you lift your arm and it falls without control, that is a serious red flag. This happens because your brain controls muscles through signals sent by nerves, and when blood supply is cut, those nerves lose power within seconds. The Lancet Neurology published studies showing that many people experience what is called a transient ischemic attack, also known as a mini-stroke, before a major stroke. These episodes often last just a few seconds, but they are warnings that your brain is in danger. Never brush it off. The second warning sign is sudden trouble speaking or understanding others. If your words come out slurred, or if you can't make sense of what someone else is saying, that is not just stress. It is a sign that your brain's language center, located in the left hemisphere, is being starved of oxygen. The American Heart Association confirms that difficulty speaking, sudden confusion, or the inability to understand language are critical early symptoms of a stroke. Many people dismiss this as fatigue, but research shows it is one of the strongest predictors of a major attack. The third sign is sudden vision changes. Imagine the world suddenly turning blurry, or double, or even going dark in one eye. The optic nerve is directly connected to blood vessels in the brain. When a clot forms, vision can change instantly. The Journal of Neurology reports that up to 25% of patients notice sudden visual disturbances before a stroke. So if your sight suddenly shifts and you cannot explain why, it is time to get checked. The fourth sign is a severe sudden headache. Not just any headache, but the worst headache of your life. Doctors call this a thunderclap headache, and it strikes with no warning. The National Institute of Neurological Disorders says such headaches may mean bleeding inside the brain or a vessel about to burst. Many people take painkillers and wait, but that delay can be deadly. If your head feels like it is exploding, it could be a stroke in progress. The fifth sign is dizziness, loss of balance, or sudden trouble walking. Your brain has a balance center called the cerebellum. When blood supply is disrupted, you may feel like the floor is tilting or that you are stumbling for no reason. The Stroke Association UK warns that sudden loss of coordination should never be ignored. People often think they are just tired, but the truth is that this could be your brain losing control of your body. The sixth sign is sudden trouble swallowing. Doctors call this dysphagia. If water goes down the wrong way, or if food feels stuck in your throat, it may be more than clumsiness. The Neurology Journal reports that up to 1/3 of stroke patients develop swallowing difficulties. The brainstem controls the muscles that move food and water, and when oxygen supply fails, those muscles weaken instantly. The seventh sign is unexplained fatigue or brain fog. You may feel drained, unable to focus, or like your brain has slowed down. This is not just from lack of sleep. The Journal of Stroke and Cerebrovascular Diseases reports that sudden fatigue or confusion can appear days before a stroke. Your body tries to conserve energy as your brain struggles with reduced blood flow. Many people ignore this because it feels like common tiredness, but when combined with dizziness, numbness, or headaches, it is a red warning. That is why quick recognition of early symptoms is your strongest weapon. But, prevention is also possible. The New England Journal of Medicine reports that up to 80% of strokes can be prevented through lifestyle choices. High blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, obesity, high cholesterol, and stress are the biggest triggers. By controlling these, you give your brain the best chance. That means checking your blood pressure regularly, eating fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and omega-3 fatty acids, exercising daily, and quitting smoking. Even small steps make a big difference. Doctors also recommend checking for atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat that increases stroke risk fivefold. The truth is, stroke is not random. It is a chain reaction caused by years of pressure on your arteries. But the earliest signs appear like whispers in your body. If you learn to recognize them, you can act before it is too late. Remember, numbness, vision changes, speech trouble, headaches, imbalance, swallowing difficulty, fatigue, nausea, and breathlessness are not normal when they come suddenly. They are the 9 red flags. And if you ignore them, the cost may be your independence, your memory, or your life. Stroke steals silently, but it can be stopped with knowledge, speed, and action. That is why doctors urge you not only to watch for these signs in yourself, but also in your family and friends. Sharing this information can save lives. By the end of this video, you now understand the 9 early warning signs that are often dismissed. You know the fast rule that can protect you, and you know that lifestyle changes can prevent 8 out of 10 strokes. Do not wait for symptoms to vanish. Do not gamble with your brain. Protect it today, because once stroke strikes, the damage cannot be undone. Now that you know the 9 early warning signs, it is time to talk about the risk factors that fuel them and how you can take control before disaster strikes. Because stroke does not arrive alone. It is built over years of silent damage inside your blood vessels. And the number one enemy is high blood pressure, which doctors call the silent killer. Because you may feel completely fine while your arteries are being stressed every second, and studies show that nearly half of all strokes are linked to uncontrolled hypertension. So checking your blood pressure regularly is one of the simplest and most powerful steps you can take. The second risk factor is diabetes, because high sugar levels damage the delicate lining of blood vessels, making them narrow and stiff. And when this happens, the brain is starved of oxygen more easily. And research confirms that people with diabetes are twice as likely to suffer a stroke. The third factor is smoking, because every puff releases toxins that make blood thicker and more likely to clot, and it weakens the walls of arteries, doubling the risk of stroke. Then comes high cholesterol, where fatty deposits build up inside arteries and form plaques that block blood flow. And if one of these plaques breaks, it can travel to the brain and cause sudden stroke, which is why doctors always stress the importance of checking cholesterol levels and eating heart-healthy foods. The next factor is obesity, because excess fat leads to higher blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol all at once, creating a perfect storm for stroke. Then there is stress, which many people underestimate, because constant stress raises cortisol and blood pressure, speeds up heart rate, and over time damages blood vessels, making stroke far more likely. Another major risk that many people never think about is atrial fibrillation, or AFib, an irregular heartbeat that can send blood clots from the heart directly to the brain, increasing stroke risk by 500%. But the good news is that it can be detected with a simple test and managed with treatment. Now let us turn to solutions, because knowing the risk is not enough. You must take action every single day. Start with your diet, because food is medicine. Eat more fruits and vegetables rich in antioxidants. Add whole grains for stable energy. Include omega-3 rich foods like flax seeds, walnuts, or fish to protect blood vessels. And cut down salt, processed foods, and fried items that strain your arteries. Drink enough water to keep your blood thin and flowing smoothly. When it comes to exercise, remember, you do not need extreme workouts. Even 30 minutes of brisk walking, cycling, or swimming each day can cut your risk dramatically, because movement keeps your blood pressure lower and your circulation healthy. If you smoke, quitting right now is the most powerful decision you can make, because smoking damage begins to reverse within weeks, and your stroke risk drops year by year. If you drink alcohol, keep it moderate, because excess alcohol raises blood pressure and triggers irregular heart rhythms. When it comes to stress, train your mind just as you train your body, because meditation, yoga, breathing exercises, and even short daily pauses can lower stress hormones and protect your brain. Finally, make health checkups a habit, not an emergency reaction. Check your blood pressure at home, check blood sugar, get cholesterol tested, ask your doctor about AFib screening, and remember that prevention is not a one-time effort. It is a lifestyle, and every small step adds up, because each day you make a choice that either feeds your brain or robs it of life. So do not wait for symptoms to teach you. Build daily habits that protect you now, because your brain is your most precious organ. It holds your memories, your ability to speak, your independence, and once stroke damages it, no medicine can fully restore it. But by controlling your risks today, you can live longer, think sharper, and avoid the pain that millions of families face after a stroke. This is why doctors around the world urge people not just to learn the early warning signs, but to actively reduce the risks, because stroke is not just a health problem. It is a preventable crisis. Now, let us finish with the most important step of all. What to do if you notice these symptoms in yourself or in someone else, because time is everything when it comes to stroke, and hesitation can cost you your independence or even your life. And the first rule is simple: never wait. Even if the symptom appears for just a few seconds and then disappears, call emergency services immediately, because doctors explain that what disappears is often a transient ischemic attack or mini stroke, and it is the strongest predictor of a future major stroke. So do not ignore it. Do not say, "I will wait and see," because every minute without oxygen kills millions of brain cells, and once they die, they cannot be replaced. The second rule is do not drive yourself, because strokes can escalate quickly, and you may lose consciousness or control on the way. Instead, call an ambulance, because emergency medical teams are trained to give life-saving treatment even before reaching the hospital, and they know exactly what to do. The third rule is to remember fast, face drooping, arm weakness, speech problems, and time to call for help. This simple rule has saved countless lives, and it is the easiest way to teach your family and friends how to act, because stroke does not just happen when you are alone. It can happen anywhere, at work, at a family gathering, or on the street, and the person next to you might be the one to save your life if they know fast. The fourth step is to stay calm but act fast. Panic wastes time, but speed saves your brain, because modern medicine has powerful treatments like clot-busting drugs. But they only work if given within a short window of 3 to 4.5 hours. Beyond that, the chance of full recovery drops sharply. So seconds matter. Now let us talk about recovery, because even if someone survives a stroke, the road back can be long and difficult depending on which part of the brain is damaged. Some lose speech, some lose memory, some lose movement in their arms or legs, and many require months or even years of rehabilitation. But the truth is, prevention and fast action can avoid this suffering in the first place, and this is why you must treat stroke not as a distant possibility, but as a present danger. Doctors urge everyone over 40 to memorize the warning signs, to take risk factors seriously, and to share this knowledge with family, because stroke is not only a personal tragedy, it is a family tragedy. When one person suffers, the entire family feels the burden. Now ask yourself, are you living in a way that protects your brain? Are you watching your blood pressure? Are you keeping sugar and cholesterol under control? Are you moving your body daily? Are you keeping stress in check? Because prevention is not complicated. It is simple daily choices repeated over time, and every good choice you make strengthens your defenses. Remember that stroke steals your most precious abilities: your speech, your memories, your independence, your ability to recognize loved ones, but you have the power to stop it. You have the power to act before it happens, and you now know the 9 early signs that should never be ignored. You know the risk factors that can be controlled, and you know the action steps to take when seconds count. So let this knowledge stay in your mind, let it guide your decisions, and let it protect your future. And if you found value in this message, then do not keep it to yourself. Share it with your loved ones, because the information you share today may save someone's life tomorrow. Remember this: stroke is preventable, stroke is treatable, stroke is beatable if you act fast. So guard your brain, protect your independence, and never ignore the whispers your body gives you, because those whispers may be the last warning before a storm. And with this, we end our guide to the 9 early warning signs of stroke. Doctors urge you to stay alert, stay healthy, and spread awareness. And before you go, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it widely, because knowledge is power. And today, this power can save a life.